Hello everyone, my name is Louise. I'm the Senior Community and Outreach Manager at Chichester Festival Theatre, and today I'm going to be taking you through some simple exercises that will result in you writing your own original piece of poetry. This session can be taken part by anyone, regardless of how much you've written in the past. If this is your first time writing a poem, welcome. We're really grateful that you're here and you're giving it a go. In order to take part, you will need a few things. You will need a pen and some paper, something to write on. If you prefer to use a laptop or type onto something, that's absolutely fine. My preference will always be old-fashioned pen and paper, but you work with what's best for you. It might also be useful to have something that you can use as a timer and keep track of things. A lot of the exercises I'm going to give you, I'll ask you to pause the video, go away and complete it in a certain amount of time, and it might be useful to have something keeping a track of that time for you. If you don't have a device that has a timer, perhaps you have a friendly housemate, a friendly family member who's around who might be willing to help you out in that respect. So if you want to pause the video, just make sure that you've got all of those things around you. Come back and join me when you're ready. So we'll move on to the first stage. The very first thing I want you to do is take one of the pieces of paper and the pen. And you're just going to spend 1 minute making a list of everything you can see from where you are. So if you're in a room like I am, you've got a window. That can be stuff that you can see through the window, but it can also be things that are in the room with you, things that are on a shelf, things that are on the wall, any pets, any other animals that are in the room with you, just a list of everything you can see, but set yourself a 60-second time limit in which to make that list. Off you go. Fab. So I'm assuming you've paused and you've restarted the video. If not, pause me because I'm going to move on to the next stage now. If you haven't made your list, I'm going to make sure that you have done that. But assuming you have made your list, you're going to want to take that piece of paper and put it to the side. We're going to come back to that later. The next step is you're going to get yourself a fresh piece of paper and you're going to spend 2 minutes this time free writing on a theme that I'm going to give you in a second. Now, free writing is a thing that writers do a lot just to help get ideas out of their head and onto a piece of paper that can be edited and worked with later. So what I want you to try and do during this 2 minutes is not think too much, just keep that pen moving, keep writing ideas down. You're just going to want to get everything out of your head onto the piece of paper. Try and not reread what you have written as you are going. We'll do that at the end. Just keep moving on to the next thing, the next thought, capture it all, particularly as you've got a 2 minute window in which to do this. Hopefully that focuses your mind and make sure you've just got that time to get down. If you get stuck at any point, you can just keep writing the theme word, which I'll give you in a second. You can keep writing that over and over again until something else crops into your head. Now, the theme that I'm suggesting that we write our poem on today is home, H-O-M-E, home. Hence why I've asked you to think about the things that are around you. So spend 2 minutes free writing on the theme of home. And if you want to pause the video now, then feel free. Well done. I'm assuming that you have just completed your 2 minutes free writing on the theme of home. If so, brilliant. Pop that piece of paper to the side and we're going to return to the list of things in the room that you could see. I would like you to pick one of those things on the list that you think is particularly interesting, or perhaps something that's particularly close to you. You can choose it for whatever reason you might like. And we're going to do some more free writing, but this time I'd like you to describe that object, that thing, and try and describe it in as much detail as you can. Think about the different senses. So what does it look like? What does it feel like? Does it have a smell? Does it have a texture? Does it have a taste? How does it make you feel? Where did you get it from? All of these things. Tell me as much as you can about this object in, again, another 2 minutes writing on this object. Pause the video here, spend 2 minutes writing about that object from the list. Off you go. Brilliant. Assuming that you've paused and restarted. Fantastic. I'd like you to repeat that exercise with a second object from that list. Now, it might be good to try and pick something that contrasts the first object you chose. So, for example, when I was completing the exercises, the first piece that I wrote about an object on my shelf here, which is a jar of pennies. I then, for the second item, chose something I could see outside, which is a bird bath. So I've chosen things that live in different parts of my home. I have different feelings about. One is something that I chose, one is something that was here from before I moved in. So different feelings, different emotions. Have a think about a contrast, because that'll add extra flavour to the poem at the end. So 2 minutes, pick something different from your list, some more free writing on that. Pause the video, off you go. Fab. Assuming that you have paused and restarted and completed all of those exercises, you've done the hard part. You've written all the words that will go into your poem. Now it's just a case of picking out the gems and putting it into the final piece. I like to think of this stage a bit like you are panning for gold. So you've dug everything up and there's a lot of brilliant gems hidden in everything you've got, but it might be surrounded by some dirt, or it might be some bits that are we need a bit polishing. So we're just going to go through those words and pick out the absolute gems, the things we want to make sure we include. So reread through your 3 pieces of free writing, your one on the theme of home, your piece of free writing on the first object from your list, and your piece of free writing from the second object of your list. I just want you to pick out any words or phrases or sentences that jump out at you. That might be because they sum up your feelings about that thing. They might be individual words that you were surprised that you used or that you really like. It could be whole phrases, whatever you want. Just go through, as I say, we're trying to mine that work and get those gems so we can make a beautiful necklace that is our poem. Lovely. Again, if you want to pause the video while you do that, feel free. And then once you have restarted the video, now we are constructing. So we've got all those different components that we want to put into our poem. You just need to order them however you would like. So you might create a list poem. So it might be each of those words or phrases you've put them into an order, see how that looks. Have a go at wiggling them around, moving things about. You might cut some of your larger sentences in half and put one higher, one lower. You might swap the order around. You might choose that there's a word or a phrase that you really like and you want to repeat. You want that to be a motif that you return to a lot. That's absolutely fine. There's no rules, there's no right or wrong at this stage. This is entirely your creative opportunity to make your poem. Now, in the interest of fairness, as I said, I completed this exercise myself. I've written a piece here that I'll happily read to you, just so you get a sense of the kind of thing that can come out of it. So this is my poem about my home. Picture my childhood home, a feeling, not a place. Penny jar, slowly filling up with copper, and what are 5p's made from? Spending time here, saving for a rainy day. No water currently, no birds, different companions. Wrote that poem by following this exercise. And I would love to hear what your poems are. So go away, pause the video again, and go away and complete your poem. Once it's ready, please do feel free to send it through to us. So you can email it to us at leap@cft.org.uk. That's LEAP@cft.org.uk. Or you can send it to us on social media. So we are on Twitter and on Instagram at Chichester FT. I hope you've enjoyed getting creative and writing a piece of poetry, and stay safe. We look forward to seeing what you've written. Bye bye.